जब बच्चे पढ़ते हो और when they respond well, तो फिर आपको बुरा नहीं लगता उनको favors देते हुए भी और time भी देते हुए. But when even after giving time, then they do not work properly, तब आपको बहुत गुस्सा आता है. Just a moment, please. So we have done email writing, we have done letters for how to design formal letters. Now we are moving towards some professional things which we are going to deal in our future. Can you see the screen, please?
Ma'am, not yet.
What happened to someone's Summer ki grandmother has passed away?
Yes, ma'am, उसने मैसेज किया था तो वो मैंने आपको फॉरवर्ड भी किया है.
Gigi, I have seen that message. So now we are going to discuss to write instructions and what are the what kind of documents in which we require instructions. So manuals. Do you know? Have you ever heard about manuals and guides?
Yes, ma'am.
You must have encountered, you must have seen them, manuals and guides and other things, like क्या उसको कहते हैं, instructions होती हैं और वो different types की होती हैं when we buy some product. So manuals are usually larger and specific than the guides. They contain more information and instructions. You could say that manual is something more complete. So you can say the manual is more क्या कहते हैं, in detail as compared to guide, or they are more specific, or they are they guide you in a more क्या कहते हैं, complete way, or जिसका कहना चाहिए, it includes a lot of things, details in that whatever the reader may need, or it is in the form of booklet maybe, or 2-3 page manual, or it is more into explained form of document. Then the manual, they contain more information and instruction. You should say the manual is something more complete. The manual detail and how and why each thing works in such and such a way. In that document, certain details are mentioned more precisely that the user can understand the system and able to solve any problem that may arise. A manual will consist of different aspects of some product, maybe its application, and if it's in some situation, it might have might not be that much effective. For instance, हम एक product खरीदते हैं, or if there is, if that machine will, if we like use that thing, or start that thing on generator or UPS वगैरह पे, so they might get affected. Their जो उसकी utility है, that might not be the same as it is. There might not be carrying the same voltage which we can have the main जो connection होता है उसके साथ होती है उसकी. So there are some things, few things which could be mentioned that this thing could be used in that situation, how, when, and where, and what are the results, and what could happen to this its performance. So there might be some specification of assembling, repairing, or handling the product. There might be some hazards attached with that. So will give you something specific related to the product, and maybe in more complete form, not the details of in like paragraph forms, but obviously precisely in statement forms, or in like a list form or bulleted form, or maybe with small paragraph in your introduction and in your conclusion, or maybe some aspect of your instruction may need little bit of क्या कहना चाहिए आपको explanation. ठीक है? So manual is in more detail. So guide is little bit generic as compared to manual. Uh, so it is always expected to be short, clear, precise, and concise. So guide manual is more specific as compared to guide, and guide is more generic as compared to manual. The guide do not include all the information about how something works, but their goal is to teach us how to make that something work. So guide will not tell us, give us all the information कि उसमें क्या कैसे करेगी, उसके आगे implications क्या हो सकती हैं, उसकी precautions क्या हो सकती हैं, उसकी utility क्या हो सकती है, but they could guide us that this is the thing and this is how it could work. So this is about guide. The guide do not necessarily come written, as if it is not necessary. We always get guide in the written form, jabki manuals are in written form, and you can have a guide in the form of CD. You can have a guide in the form of some video or something like that. Recorded guide bhi ho sakti hai, or sometimes it is more easier to understand as compared to some written guide, or obviously things are becoming advanced and advanced. There might be a bit small note, written note also. So guide usually informal, and content is more relative. So guides are not very, you can say it's not that much formal as compared to the manual. आपने इसके अलावा जैसे गाइड इज जस्ट लाइक अ स्मॉल लीफलेट टाइप भी आता है, तो उस तरह भी हो सकता है लीफलेट. और आपने देखे कि इंस्ट्रक्शंस आपके पास होती हैं जब आप मेडिसिन लेते हैं, तो उसमें भी यू हैव अ लॉट ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शंस देयर. सो यू कैन सी हाउ दीज थिंग्स आर इम्पॉर्टेंट no matter in which profession you are, whether you are in medicine, whether you are an engineer. If you will assume, if you will think consciously about your daily routines, you are following instruction at everything you are doing. For instance, you are like eating your meal, from going to washing your face, or doing any brushing your teeth. You will take your brush, you apply at toothpaste, you apply toothpaste on that. Then you brush your teeth. Then you rinse your mouth with water, or then you wash your face. So everything is following some sequence. You are not doing everything anything randomly कि किसी का आप most of the time, बहुत rare ऐसा होता है, you wash your face before brushing your teeth. Most of the time you follow the sequence. You wake up, you go to the toilet, you brush your teeth, then you wash your face, and you have shower, you change your clothes, you wear clothes, and you dress up. This is a sequence you are following. Then you drive, and you drive your car. You are following certain instructions that you have to start your car. Then you gear lagate, then you put your foot on the escalator, जो भी होता है उसके race पे, escalator पे. Then you like start driving, and when you are like having some hazard in front of you, you use the brake. So these are the instructions you are following. That with the passage of time it becomes automatic. ये instructions आपकी automatically होती हैं. अब घर पे instructions, you are getting instructions from your parents and you beta, when you go out please read this thing, Allah का नाम लो, then you go the jana, do not this eat this thing, आप वहाँ पे friends में जाना, avoid smoking. So there are so many things going on every time which you cannot avoid. So instructions are all around us and we are not even focusing. We are not even thinking about it. It's most of the time is unconscious even. So when we have to design, you can say, like guide, when you design manuals, you need to know about instructions because they consist of a lot of instructions for different steps. So instructions is the most generic term and maybe synonymous with directions. So we are providing directions while designing any document. आप report लिख रहेंगे, you need to know instructions. आप lab reports लिखते हैं, you need to know how to insert instructions in that. So it's just, you can say, a step-by-step guidance on how to perform specific task or function. So a manual or guide will include many sets of instructions. You used alone, however, instructions can refer to the simple explanatory text. Push the cap, twist the to open, and use or use another door. These are the expressions which we could keep on listening maybe. So please add sugar in that and mix it, and then give the tea to the person. Twist to open, and then drink, and then close it tightly. So we need to know these kinds of expressions in our every task or in every daily routine even. According to James Hartley, we have 3 steps. We should follow 3 steps before designing any instructions. First is your planning stage. The second is your producing the designing stage when you produce the document. And third is your testing, editing the document. First stage is your pre-design. Pre-design is obviously अब आपको जब इंशाल्लाह report, we are heading towards our report writing, and when we will be like start our writing, और जैसे हमने अभी writing process में भी देखा है, we have to set some goal. We have some purpose in mind while designing or like starting our work. The first step is to determining the goal by setting the purpose of the instructions. The second step is to identify the audience, to determine the audience, who will be our audience or stakeholders. कि हम instructions दे रहे हैं whether the person is a technical person or the person a person is like a lay person or a non-technical person, or what were the constraints, कि क्या limitations होंगी, क्या उस instructions की क्या reaction हो सकता है. So we have to, like, the first step, we have to keep all these things, these steps in our mind. Haris is a part of our class.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Haris, why are you so worried? Haris Salim.
Ma'am, I think Haris Salim is from D section.
189 means D section. बहुत ही ज़्यादा परेशान है, इतने messages किए हैं उसने. खैर, anyways, the first step is while determining your goal, define the scope of your instruction, identify key tasks that user must perform based on the scope of the instructions, define specific and measurable criteria for success of your for each task, identify all reasonably foreseeable hazards, foreseeable or unseen hazards, which could the things which could happen in unfortunate circumstances कि कभी हो सकती हैं, which could be attached with the product. So we have to mention those things also. अच्छा हम क्या करते हैं, we do not follow a lot of things. For instance, it's for the ladies because we have ladies in the class. Okay, when we might read this thing, I have read this thing, this thing, this one product of your skin product, that this cream should not be applied around your eyes, but we never focus on this thing. Or with the passage of time, what happened? Okay, that cream or that product start affecting your the area around your eyes, it becomes maybe black or it becomes maybe dry or something like that. So we have to tell the audience if it has some bad this kind of effects, any bad effect to with the attached with the product. So hazards should be mentioned and specify the knowledge and the skills required, or speak what are the things which are required and what kind of knowledge a person should have. Most of the time होता क्या है, जो instructions हम पढ़ते हैं या हमें हमारे पास आती हैं, most of the time, बल्कि ज़्यादातर we could not understand it because they are written in such difficult way, and we do not have sufficient knowledge to employ, to understand those instructions. So that is why I keep on telling you, rather than making things more complex and pretending that you are a very knowledgeable person, try to be simple and easy, and for जो ताकि आपकी language could be understandable for the most different kind of audiences. So find out about how consumers are likely to use a product under real world conditions. So real world conditions are completely different from the conditions you assume are for your product, because जो practical life होती है, it is very difficult, and it is not the bed of roses. वहाँ पे आपके पास कई दफा situation ऐसी भी होती है, do not have things to assemble your product. You cannot like repair your things, और आपके पास इतने बड़े I have seen a lamp, I might have shared with you at a very good store, or I have ordered it, and now I am planning to cancel that lamp because it has two bulbs in it. One is obviously एक normal bulb जो हम screw कर सकते हैं, ऊपर से डाल कर सकते लगा सकते हैं, and there was a one light at the bottom of the lamp, and we have to open the base with the screw जो होता है इसका, जो भी उससे खोलते screws, और then we have to change. तो उसके लिए it's a long procedure. So that I now I am planning to cancel that order because I thought, how would I do that, or how could like the uneducated staff could do that? They have to unassemble the lamp, and then they have to change the bulb, then they have to like join क्या कहते हैं, assemble it again. So if at home as a housewife, as a simple person, it is difficult for someone to do a lot of hassle. So that is how sometimes these things become complicated. और उन्होंने हमें ऐसे instructions दी नहीं, ऐसे मैंने I just asked them how I would be able to change the bulb from the other bulb. Then they told me about it, that it's a long process, or maybe you have to bring your lamp at the store to change the bulb. So these are the things one should be like make clear before selling the product. Okay? So real world conditions are not as easy or are to incorporate or into to perform a lot of tasks. तो वहाँ पे situation is completely different. और हम जैसे Pakistanis, we do not follow the instructions at any step. हमारी एक अपनी mindset है, and we are bound to follow that. Real world is like something else for us. So tell us how to do things. Start with the goal or the purpose. Give the list of the things needed. Set out steps in time order. Use bullet points or number. If you have to list down the thing. Use bullets or points, or often use one sentence for each step. So try to add one sentence for each step rather than adding a lot of information or in a paragraph form. Often start each step with the verb. For instance, place this thing, add this thing, upload this thing. So you start your your sentence with the verb, and you should have a knowledge of adverbs also, like to make things more clear. For instance, tightly, carefully, tactfully. और क्या हो सकता है? There are so many adverbs or which could be used in instructions. कौन से हो सकते हैं? Tell me quickly. Tell me some verbs, adverbs, which could be employed, which could be used. No one?
Ma'am, precisely, accurately.
Gently,
Yes.
accurately, intently.
Intensely. Or anyway. So the second step is to design. While we designing our instruction, we have to keep this thing in our mind, uh, keeping the purpose of the instruction in mind. What kind of vocabulary we should use? What could be the structure of our instructions? What could be the layout, font, and format? Sometimes you want to highlight something, then you might be using the different font, might be by making it bold or by like using italic, or ताकि the reader should like focus on this information, especially for this information, that this is important. So you can use different font in only that case. Otherwise, keep one font for one instruction in one document. This is not the preferred style, that you are using different fonts in one document. So it is or one size, one sif heading ka size. If you want to like keep your heading one size bigger than the font you're using, that's fine. Otherwise, keep one font throughout the style and the size. So vocabulary, as we were talking about verbs and adverbs, or वैसे भी we should know a lot of vocabulary regarding our to become a good technical reader or writer or a technical communicator. So we should keep on learning new words daily. It should be your daily routine, that you should have a knowledge of a lot of things. So post design. Can anyone read the slide, please?
Revision
Checklist for
checklist for
instructions. As you reread and revise your instructions, watch out for problems such as the following.
G.
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम, किसी ने मुझे मीटिंग से रिमूव कर दिया है, आप प्लीज प्राइवेसी लगा दें।
मैंने लगाई थी, अभी तक नहीं लगी।
नहीं मैम, प्राइवेसी
नो मैम अभी तक तो नहीं लगी।
इन्होंने बाज नहीं आना मैम,
वेरी
आप
बैड।
कुछ नहीं कर सकते इनका।
मैंने वैसे लगाई, बट आई डोंट नो, मे बी सेव नहीं हुई।
यस मैम, प्लीज प्राइवेसी लगा दें, इन्होंने ऐसे ही करते रहना है।
ओके, लगा दिया। सॉरी।
Make sure you provide real instructions, explanations of how to build, operate, or repair something. Write a good introduction in it, indicate the exact procedure to be explained, indicate audience requirements, and provide an overview of contents. Make sure that you use the various types of lists wherever appropriate. Use numbered vertical lists for sequential steps. Provide next slide भी पढ़नी है मैम.
जी.
Provide additional supplementary explanation of the steps as necessary. Remember to create a section listing equipment and supplies if necessary. Make sure you use the style format for all headings, lists, special notices, and graphics as presented in these chapters. If
Okay,
there's a
thank you.
problem,
ठीक है.
connected with this
So
structure.
that's fine. Acha, ये अब you can even add visuals if it is required. For instance, आप पे देखोगे there are some instructions in which you while like mentioning the steps, you have the pictures. This is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4, and then you like give instructions also. You can do that also. You can add graphics also. So this could be an additional thing which you can do while designing your document. So a post design is always like you are proofreading your document and revising your thing, whether it's everything is clear or not. So you should have checklist with you, whether you have given the complete instructions, whether you have missed anything or not, and make sure that you provide good and real instructions regarding just we have already discussed, when you design some machine or some product with the extra instruments in that or extra tools in that, so that is, you can say, is not, which is not required. So this is not only the burden for your machine, this is also a burden on the minds of your readers also. So keep this thing in your mind while giving instruction, that you should not give them extra material which is not useful or required to build, to operate, or to repair something. So when you write good introduction for your instruction, you need to write good introduction, or which explain what is the product is, and then it indicate which indicate the procedure which should need to be explained, and indicate the audience requirement, and overview of the content. Make sure that you use various lists. Acha, if you have list, obviously when you have you are telling the specifications, you are telling about the procedure, you are telling about the hazards and precautions. So these are four things, different things which you could mention in while designing your instructions. They should be it is preferred that they should be list down. You should list them down rather than writing them in paragraph form, because paragraphs are difficult to handle. It's जब आपकी चीजें list में या एक sentence में लिखी होती हैं, तो a reader could absorb them better rather than reading or absorbing a paragraph form things. So you can do that. तो इंस्ट्रक्शंस आर वेरी प्रिसाइज, और बहुत ही इस तरह वाला डॉक्यूमेंट होता है. आपकी गाइड और मैनुअल्स और ये जो आपकी लीफलेट्स और आपकी जितने भी चीज़ें होती हैं, लाइक आपकी फ्लायर्स, दे आर ऑलवेज वेरी प्रिसाइज, और बहुत थोड़ी जगह होती है हमारे पास, तो वी हैव टू अवॉइड paragraphs. So you can give, if you think that your product is quite complicated, you can give extra information or explanation for that product. Little bit of explanation doesn't mean कि आप पूरे दो सफ़े लिखने शुरू कर दें. Just highlight it or salient features, talking about the main things. Remember to create a section listing equipment and supplies if necessary. If you think that there is a need of listing or equipment or supplies, or the things the people might be requiring in the future, you can list them. Make sure your style font headings, जो मैं पहले बात कर चुकी, it should be very standard. For instance, I always advise my students to use Time New Romans and Calibri or Arial, which is more standard and widely used across the world. Or the font is standard font size is 12 of your excuse me, is 12, and you can say आपकी जो heading का अगर आपको you want to make difference with your heading, You can make it one size bigger than your content or the material you want to write. उसे एक size आप बड़ा करते हैं. Otherwise, throughout your document, the size should remain the same. So is that clear? Your pre-design, design, and post-design regarding instructions? Bacho?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. For writing instructions, you need to uh, learn verbs and adverbs more than anything else. Or obviously, simple statements are always appreciated in in writing technical document. Or things should be simple, or essay which could be which could entertain different diverse kind of audience. For instance, maybe a low tech audience or lay person also. So it's design your things in a way that could be understandable for the different types of audience. So now what you are going to do is you have I'm going to assign you a task for designing instructions. You will be writing instructions regarding construction. आपने मुझे instructions देनी है related to the field of construction, and then you will अब हमारे पास टाइम नहीं, अगर हमारी कंजेक्टिव क्लास होती तो you could do it during your class time. अभी आप स्टार्ट कर दें, मैं आपको साइन कर रही हूँ आपकी असाइनमेंट. And the thing you are going to do is, when following all these things, steps, you will be designing instructions or guide for the people, or if you want to create a manual or guide, it is your choice. The baat ko gaur se sun lijiyega. And then you will be giving the introduction of the product, then the instructions, and then the precautions, and anything dangerous hazard attached to that, and then you conclude it. And for that thing, you are going to present a recorded presentation with the you will be going to submit the recorded presentation with your instructions on the MS team. Is that clear?
मैम ऑडियो में बनाएंगे ना प्रेजेंटेशन, रिकॉर्ड करेंगे ऑडियो.
जी बिल्कुल, ऑडियो हो सकती है. यू कैन सेंड योर वीडियो आल्सो. वीडियो इज मोर प्रेफर्ड कि आप एक ये जो आपकी वो है ना जो कैन से माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पे मैंने मेरे बच्चों का फीडबैक आया था कि दैट माइक्रोसॉफ्ट इज मोर इजियर टू हैंडल इन फॉर दिस टास्क. उसमें आप अपनी स्लाइड्स के साथ अपनी एक छोटी सी वीडियो ऑफ योर प्रेजेंटेशन could be sent along with your instructions. I can show you one sample. Yeah. आप ही के डिपार्टमेंट के सी सेक्शन की बहुत सी अच्छी इंस्ट्रक्शंस भी मेरे पास थी. Let me check. Can you see the screen?
No, ma'am.
But आपको स्क्रीन नहीं नजर आ रही?
No,
No,
ma'am.
ma'am.
अभी
No,
तक
ma'am.
तो नहीं आ रही. Yes, ma'am.
Can you listen? आपको आवाज आ रही है? Can you hear this?
No, ma'am.
But now you can see it's on the word that he has presented his instructions and also like attached his presentation here, video. एक और भी बहुत अच्छी थी. And there is one more request. There is no need to look for assignments here and there because मैं आपको पहले भी बता चुकी हूँ और मैं आपको फिर repeat कर रही हूँ. I remember each and every work that my student has submitted. So there is no need to take their work and copy it. अगर ऐसा मुझे मिल गया तो I will just straight away cancel your work. You can see there. आपको आवाज तो नहीं आ रही होगी?
No, ma'am.
Okay. But you can see how this thing could be done. So just to tell you कि आपको confusion ना रहे. So for that purpose, I've shown you the samples.
मैम इनमें से कोई एक सेंड कर दें ताकि हम देख के अच्छी तरह हमें समझ आ जाएगी सही तरह. इस तरह तो समझ नहीं आ रही.
मैं आपको क्या समझ नहीं आ रही? सैंपल सेंड कर दूं आपको?
मैम ये बता देंगे मैम हमने मतलब कि टॉपिक क्या मतलब कि करना क्या है थोड़ा सा ये
अच्छा मैं आपको बता दूं सर प्लीज लिसन टू मी केयरफुली. Listen to me carefully, but I will send you the proper instructions in while sending you assignment. One thing is that. The other thing is please lend me your ears for a while. अपनी कान मुझे तो 1 मिनट के लिए उधार दे दें and pay attention. Write instructions. Whether you design manual, it's your choice that you design guide, but it should be like complete or giving a complete guidance. And if you, अभी मैंने आपको जो sample दिखाया है जो MLA formatting का, it's a manual. उसमें introduction है, instructions है और जो चीजें we should follow उसमें MLA formatting के बारे में एक manual बनाया उस बच्चे ने. And then he explained each and everything by like presenting it कि ये steps है which we need to follow. अगर इसमें obviously there are no hazards, there are no dangers in that, so that is why he is not added. MLA formatting में क्या हो सकता है नहीं हो सकता. दूसरे वाला जो मैंने आपको बताया है it's about a general topic कि लोगों को conform करने के लिए how we treat this वो क्या कहते हैं जो bully करते हैं जो आपको dragging करते हैं कि how to overcome this thing. and how to like prevent yourself from that, उसके बारे में था. So you can, but हम आज इस वक्त इसको specify कर रहे हैं instructions regarding construction which is related to your civil department or civil field. आप समझ रहे हैं मेरी बात को? Civil engineering की industry के बारे में है. Regarding you might be like, मैंने अपनी पुराने section से बहुत कुछ सीखा है. इसके बारे में सीमेंट को कैसे यूज करते हैं, how to prepare it and how to preserve it and how to apply it. So there are so many things, how to design your house and what could be the steps we should follow, we should do, like जो structure का size होता है, उसकी जो walls होती हैं, how we could make it more stronger, उसका क्या होना चाहिए, उसकी balance कैसे करते हैं उसको. There are so many things. Am I right or wrong? मुझे इतना exactly नहीं पता. I'm just giving you some ideas. Ideas तो आपको देने चाहिए because you people are technical people in this field. और मैं आपको दे रही हूँ unfortunately. पर आपको मेरी बात समझ आ रही है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
तो आपने अपनी फील्ड से इससे आपकी प्रैक्टिस भी हो जाएगी. You will be giving the instruction, designing instructions, and then you are going to like अपनी एक वीडियो भेज दें. अगर आप कहेंगे तो we can do it during class also. कि आप अपनी वो जो वीडियो भेजेंगे तो we could be able to know कि what the thing exactly is. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, how much would be the video?
2-3 minutes are more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes are more than enough. Not a long video. बहुत इतनी को लंबी दास्तान नहीं डालनी. तो इंस्ट्रक्शंस को तो हमने बिल्कुल टू द पॉइंट बात करनी है. ठीक है? थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन.
When should I submit?
प्रेजेंटेशन आप कोई बात नहीं है, आप मुझे वेडनेसडे को दे दीजिएगा. हमारी क्लास वेडनेसडे को होनी है. आपको मैं बहुत टाइम दूंगी ताकि आपको you should know how to present, and I'm sure you have done this in the previous semesters also, but आप मुझे मंडे अच्छा करें, छोड़ दें, मंडे को मुझे सबमिट कर दें. You have weekend with you.
मैम मंडे को वाइवा हमारा एक
मैम वो पहले भी वाइवा और एक लैब वगैरह की असाइनमेंट वगैरह मिल गई है.
ओ बा उज़ैर, अब आप भी बहाने करेंगे.
नो मैम, इट्स द सॉलिड रीजन.
It is a solid view.
मैम हमारे और भी बहुत सारे असाइनमेंट मिली हुई हैं.
हमने तो आपको असाइनमेंट दी नहीं, जब देने लगो तो आपके बहाने शुरू हो जाते हैं.
मैम ये ईमेल वाली मिली हुई है अभी.
नो मैम, हम कर लेंगे, छोटी सी असाइनमेंट है, कर लेंगे मैम, हम छोटी सी.
नो मैम,
देख रहे हैं कितने अच्छे.
मैम पहले ही बहुत ज्यादा काम है.
ओके चलिए ठीक है.
कोई काम नहीं है मैम, कर लेंगे हम.
थैंक यू. चलिए ठीक है, आई विल गिव यू द टाइम टिल ट्यूसडे. क्या हो गया है, ट्यूसडे को कर लेना. मैंने रखी है आपके लिए अभी, आप डोंट वरी. सो यू डू परफॉर्म योर वर्क टास्क एंड सबमिट ऑन एमएस. ठीक है? और आपको कोई अगर क्वेश्चन हो, यू कैन आस्क मी इन द ग्रुप. सो वैसे बाय द वे आई विल सेंड यू कंप्लीट इंस्ट्रक्शन टास्क. जी
वेडनेसडे तक का टाइम दे दें प्लीज.
ओके, मनाइल ने कह दिया तो आई हैव टू गिव यू एक्स्ट्रा टाइम.
थैंक यू मैम.
मैम अगले वीक कर ले, अगले वीक.
अगला वीक
वैसे जरूरत नहीं थी.
बात ही कर रही हूँ मैं. कौन सी?
यस मैम, नेक्स्ट वीक.
नो, बस कमिंग वीक में ऑन वेडनेसडे. मनाइल ने कहा है तो दिस इज फाइनल. ओके, सी यू इंशाल्लाह. और उज़ैर मार्क देयर अटेंडेंस. आपको वैसे इंस्ट्रक्शंस, हाउ टू राइट इंस्ट्रक्शंस, इट इज दिस थिंग इज क्लियर टू यू?
नो मैम.
ये स्लाइड्स भेज देंगे.
स्लाइड तो मैं भेज दूंगी, बट व्हाई नॉट द लेक्चर इज क्लियर. इफ यू हैव सम क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क मी हियर कि हाउ कुड यू डिजाइन इंस्ट्रक्शंस. It should be with a small introduction, then the steps you want to tell the person whether to assemble, whether to repair, whether to disassemble. So आपको क्या चीज समझ नहीं आ रही इसमें?
मैम समझ तो आ गई है, वो एक दफा रिवाइज करेंगे ना तो ग्रिप हो जाएगी अच्छी तरह. इसलिए
लाइक आप एक्सपेरिमेंट्स करते हैं, आप लैब करते हैं, तो उस लैब में when you do perform your experiments, you write, you follow instruction and you write instructions also, and then when you explain your results, उसमें भी then you have some sequence to follow. ना you ask आपके रीडर को आप एक sequence देते हैं ना to follow, and you then explain the precautions and the hazards associated with the results, even the results, the hazards, the like future trends, even some suggestions also. So this is the part of your work, daily work. Okay? So I will send you the notes along with your tasks. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
See you. Allah Hafiz. All the best. Have a nice weekend.
Okay, ma'am.
Allah Hafiz, ma'am.